Coached by Warren Ryan. They are, as per program, the Newcastle Knights, a very strong bench. Parsons, Shields, Brief and Rahihi.
What a season he's had. David Fairley left the North Sydney Bears a new lease of life under Warren Ryan. He's the best yard getter in the competition, and I think it's a shame that he's leaving the Newcastle Knights to go and finish his career in England. Still has plenty of years left here in Australia if he wanted to play.
Plenty of Newcastle Knights fans in the crowd. They enjoy tremendous support at Marathon Stadium, but also at all away games. Well, according to the players' poll this week, that is the best player in the world at the moment, Andrew Johns. That face of Terry Hill, the West Tigers fans are very happy to see him out there. He suffered a very bad cork against the Bulldogs last week at the Olympic Stadium, but he is backing up in the centres. Matt Sears is the fullback. Michael Gillette is back in the number 6 jumper. There's been the one change there. Jason Lowry is not playing. Richard Villasanti comes into the front row along with John Skandalis.
John Skandalis, very important to the Tigers today. He has a great record of 6 tries for the season. A great effort for a front rower, but he will be enormously important in their go forward. If they're going to do well today, you really need to work hard around the middle of the rucks against the Newcastle Knights.
This will be a very fiery occasion. And the most experienced referee in the game will be in charge in Bill Harrigan. Adam McDougall has been on fire in the fullback position. Robbie O'Davis, of course, with that broken foot, is out. Craig Field gets proceedings underway. Good crowd, great atmosphere, bad start for Newcastle. Adam McDougall, well, really, very rarely do you see him make a blunder like that.
The exact start that the Tigers would be hoping for. It was just a regulation take, really, for McDougall. He's been so explosive from the back. The Tigers get an opportunity straight away, only 10 metres out.
They made that explosive start against the Bulldogs last week. They led by 18 points to 0, and there's a little bit of a push and shove.
Bring it up.
Darren Centers in there, just with the shove on Butterfield, so the two hard heads going at it.
We're going in, 10 metre, the 20 metre mark.
We've touched on this blocker. We expect plenty of fireworks.
Well, it's all or nothing for the Tigers, isn't it? You would expect them to come out like that.
Craig Field away from the scrum base. Hill, his first touch of the game, tries to go over the top of Matthew Johns. The crowd don't like it, holding Hill down in the tackle. He gets up, plays it back. They come to Tyron Smith. Loves to try and poke the torso through that defensive line. Don't forget, they are looking for revenge. The West Tigers, after being given a real lesson up at Marathon back in round 3. Centre, Craig Field to the line, back on the inside. A little bit of a lack of communication between Field and Smith. Centre, back again. Oh, what about it? Richard Villasanti has just smashed his way over. The crowd goes up for Campbelltown. The Tigers, they strike first, they strike quickly.
There's no doubting this kid has got plenty of talent. They've got 2 good young front rowers in their side. Skandalis. Here's McDougall from the kickoff. Straight away, a regulation take knocked on. That gave the Tigers the opportunity. And this kid can play. Richard Villasanti, a star schoolboy only a couple of seasons ago, and just crushes over. A lot fitter this season. Plenty of agility. He gets the first 4-pointer for the Tigers.
I tell you, for the 20 minutes preceding this game, all the West Tigers would have been talking about was let's get out there and get a good start. Let's get in control of our game, get things rolling well. Well, it couldn't have started any better. The knock-on from Adam McDougall, and then a great try to Richard Villasanti, who really is a great young up-and-coming player.
No doubt about that. Joel Kane lining up this kick. The first player this season to get to 200 points in the competition. 75% success rate over his career, 72, but he's worked very hard on this.
And it is where they're very strong, the Newcastle Knights. To score a try right up their middle would be hurting them at the moment. It's a great start there from the Tigers.
Kane moves in. This to put the Tigers up by 6 points to 0. They are desperate. Strikes it. It's good. It's very good. The flags are up. 6-0 the score. 11 wins, 11 losses, and the 2 draws. That adds up to 24 points, and that adds up to a little bit of strife. Smith, Craig Field, kicks superbly early on against the Bulldogs. McGuinness is very quick to Manatahu. Goes back.
Billy's
Forced in the touch.
inside the 10 metres, straight from the kick. Touch judge in at the moment. I think they'll call John Hopewade out for a little incident on Tony Butterfield a little bit earlier. Hopewade being called out now.
Mate, what's the replay? I don't want that. Don't want that.
The player was on the ground, tackled, the tackle was complete. This player's come right over the top. Didn't need to happen, so I'm going to be keeping very close touch with him.
Billy wants to stay. John, just stay right out of it all day.
Well, here it is. Tahu cleans up the football there. McGuinness is inside the 10 metres. Hopewade comes over the top to assist. Didn't see too much wrong with that.
Just a late flop, and the penalty goes the way of Newcastle, but nothing vicious from John Hopewade. David Fairley. Oh! Big hit! Tyrone Smith lifted by the crowd. Gidley. Man, he has come out. He's heavily involved, isn't he?
There it is. What a great hit it was from Tyrone Smith. The West Tigers really, the 6 points it has really lifted them. Not that they wouldn't have been fired up already, but they just know it's going to be another 80 minutes of hard work, but they're really enjoying it at the moment.
So too Newcastle. McDougall shows it on the outside. Joel came off the right wing to make the tackle. Across the park, Andrew Johns, crossfield kick. It's gone backwards. He'd love to have it again.
Well, an energetic start there from the Tigers. You put that chase down from Luke O'Donnell on Johns. He couldn't get the kick away. Full of enthusiasm early in this match, the Tigers. They've forced Newcastle Knights into a couple of errors so far.
Hopewade revved up for this game. He's been encouraging the other players in the back line. Tigers feed. Wakefield comes over. Michael Gillette missed last week's game with an injury. Steve Georgialis played in the 5'8" position. Wakefield takes on that line. He cops a little bit of a workout. That came from Sean Rudder. Villasanti, the decoy for Smith. O'Neill, good ball. Matt Sears parting up. Lenny Beckett, ferocious in the tackle. Centre likes to kick out of dummy half. McDougall very well positioned. Brings it back. He's not exactly a crowd favourite here. Adam McDougall, that is.
The Knights just looking to get themselves back into the game. They were a bit shocked by that first try from the West Tigers and a couple of average sets. They'll just work themselves back into the game now, get into their normal routine of going forward well and start moving the ball in a few sets of 6 once they get back into that rhythm.
Badiris delivers it. Butterfield. The crowd thought it was forward. Referee Bill Harrigan doesn't normally react to the crowd, and he didn't on that occasion. Johns, that was Matthew from Rudder. Nothing wrong with that. The offload came from Rudder. Andrew Johns now. Billy Peden. Oh, collision between Hughes. Solid defence by the Tigers.
Well, it's the only way to play against that.
Oh, centre Butterfield. And Butterfield again pokes out the left. Centre takes a backward step.
I don't know about that. I don't think you'll be seeing too much of that from Darren Centre today. Or the West Tigers pack. They have forced Newcastle into plenty of errors early in this match. They love the second phase. They've been able to get up in the face of the Newcastle Knights so far in this game.
Backs are broken too quick. Stay in.
The back row is breaking the Newcastle Knights.
Both sides.
That defence forcing that mistake was a good sign from the Tigers. As Newcastle, as we see a replay, he's got the back rowers from breaking early. Newcastle just started to look a little bit dangerous on that edge, but the West Tigers got plenty of defenders across there, and as you mentioned, Blocker, that's what you have to just continue to do all day against this side. If you think you can just watch them spread the ball across the field and hope the next guy will make the tackle, it's not going to happen.
John Scandala's pumped up. 15 away from the try line. He already has 6 for the year. Joel Kane, 202 points for the year. Centre. Wakefield, flat ball. Villasanti scored after just 2 minutes of this game. They can attack on the left or the right. They go to Wakefield. Jinks, weaves, ducks under a couple. Should be 6 to go. It came off the Newcastle Knights. that Billy Harrigan hasn't seen it. Surely somebody saw it. A touch judge must have seen it. Smith brings it forward. It's the fourth tackle. Flicked out the back. McDougall's chasing. He was taken out. This could backfire on the West Tigers. It does. Really, they should have had 6 to go. Instead, it's a penalty to Newcastle.
They go straight on the attack too. McGuinness on Gidley. Gidley gets it on the outside now for Tahu.
Tamana Tahu away down the right-hand side. 21 line breaks for the year.
Your execution's got to be so good when you get into the opposition 20. That's where the Tigers fall down all season. They try and force the football.
David Fairley with a good offload. Badiris juggles it for Rudder. Rudder the good offload for Badiris. Second phase for Newcastle. Andrew Johns with the step in the fence. Millicent, he got him eventually. Matthew Johns calling the shots. First receiver. To the line he goes. O'Neill it was who went low. Andrew Johns standing wide from Rudder. Nice ball from Rudder. Tamana Tahu. Slow play the ball. They want it quicker. It's the 5th tackle. Andrew Johns, little grubber. Oh, great hands from the big man, John Scandalis.
Put him in second slip.
Butterfield it was who was flying through for that one. Andrew Johns had given him the nod that he was going to put the grubber through. Butterfield was flying on his outside, but it was the other front rower, Scandalis. A great take, basketball-like take.
Here he comes now with another hit up. Third of the game. Luke O'Donnell, still only 19 years of age. Good tackle. Defensively been a very good set of 6 by Newcastle. Craig Field finds some good open space there. That's a very good kick from Craig Field. It's a beauty, in fact. McDougall goes back to his line. Has Lenny Beckett. Mulalai is out there on the paddock in jumper number 19. Oh, big hit. An absolute cracker from Michael Gillette.
Well, that's Tyron Smith putting his shoulder to whirl over the top too. I will say, but the Newcastle Knights are a very professional side. They've got the type of players who can soak up punishment.
No doubt about that. Andrew Johns. Back on the inside for Glenn Grief. The final tackle for Newcastle. They are always dangerous. Andrew Johns drives it deep. That kick is just about perfect. Matt Sears brings it back. Tucks that ball nice and tight up under the right wing. The Tigers, their defence, they would like that to be better, conceding 4.2 tries per game. Sloppy play the ball. That's Little Lie. Field thought about the ball, the pass, and under the shoulder there of Matt Parsons. The ground is in terrible condition. Bad patches coming up. McDougall, again a good kick. Good chase by Joel Kane. Michael Gillette's there. Luke O'Donnell is there.
It's a big part of the game against the Newcastle Knights with Adam McDougall at fullback and Lenny Beckett and Tamana Tahu on the wings. You have to have that chase team working all day. The first time the West Tigers drop off there, McDougall will make them pay for it.
The Newcastle Knights would love to improve their record on the road. They've won just 3 games on the road this year. Badiris, away comes the Shields. Andrew Johns, nice short ball, Rahihi.
He loves the big men too, Warren Ryan. You have a look at their bench, Matt Parsons, Shield, Grief and Rahihi. All big front rowers.
Right in the sandpit they hit it.
And we'll see plenty of rotation from those blokes today.
Bengalia plays it back. Joel Kane bounces away from one. Terry Hill, good solid strike by Terry Hill as Butterfield has his first break of the day. Sears.
Just don't think that they're moving the Newcastle Knights around enough. A little bit of one-out stuff there from the Tigers. They need to get a little bit of second phase or 2-pass running.
Galea, Ben Galea, Captain John Paul II to a Commonwealth Bank Cup title a few years ago. Chiriaco Mesha darting, picking up 12 metres.
And that's one of the disadvantages of having so many big men in your team. They can't get off the ground quick enough. Cherry Mesher spotted that straight away with a 15-metre break.
He really adds some spark to them, Cherry Mesher, when he comes onto the field. I was just about to mention that, and there he was, taking straight off from dummy half. He caught them napping on that right-hand side of the ruck, and a penalty 28 metres out straight in front, so an immediate impact from the man off the bench, Cherry Mesher.
It's exactly what Coach Ian Pearce would love to see, making that impact off the bench.
It works well because they rotate Darren Centre back to the back row for a while and give Cherry Mesher a shot at the dummy half role. And he really is, he's really deceptive out of there.
Matthew Johns back with his brother Andrew in the halves.
He's got 3 hookers out there at the moment. Young Galea is normally a hooker. Cherry Mesher and also Darren Centre, as you already mentioned, can play in the back row too, but looking for a little bit more agility. It's really opposite to what Newcastle have got.
The Tigers hit hard by injuries. Still no Jared McCracken. I believe his neck is very slowly getting better. Kyron Smith about to come back on.
Good working, Bill.
Jason Larry was down to play in this game, but his broken arm is taking longer than the first thought by the club. Joel Kane, virtually directly in front this one. All points will be vital. He's hooked it.
I suppose the positive to come out of that, if you can have one, is that they'll get the football back. Really should have put that one over Jay. She'd know better than me, but right in front. Leading point scorer of the season.
Not much you can say about those ones. They happen. He'll be disappointed about it, but the key for him is just to get it out of his head now, get on with the game and make sure he gets the next one through.
Sears. This is Stephen Crouch, and Andy's debut for Parramatta way back in 1996. Hasn't played a great deal of top-grade footy. The Tigers, Campbelltown, not exactly a happy hunting ground. Just the one win and a draw here. Villasanti tackled 10 metres inside Newcastle territory. Craig Field, Matt Sears, rushes away from one. Mark Hughes came again. Very good defender is Mark Hughes. Field, quick grab at that by There's Mesher, Craig Field, 5th tackle, high ball, tough one. Tahu looking into the sun, flew high. Hapawane came down with it, then lost it on the way down.
I'll tell you what, they were lucky they had a couple of support players there, the Newcastle Knights.
Gee, I think that's a tough call too. I don't really see how Bill Horrigan got a knock on from that one. I thought Tahu knocked it backwards. We'll see on this though. Yeah, probably would have called that play on and a drop out to Newcastle, but it was a perfectly placed kick from Craig Field. It was half a metre out from the try line, which meant it was play on if Tahu had caught it cleanly, and they would have been able to push him back into the in-goal area.
Glenn Grief, just to shoulder him. 68% of the ball has gone the way of the West Tigers, so by rights they probably should be leading by 6-0, and they've had it in pretty good position. They've got to try and keep the Newcastle Knights from good quality ball and good field position. Johns, Andrew that is. Forward pass. It was forward by a metre, I thought. Tamana Tahu flicked out the back by Badiris. Badiris with the kick. Sears goes back, grabs it, tries to get away from his man.
Well, I've got to say, I thought Tahu was in front of the kicker there too. He's good under pressure, isn't he, Johns? With plenty of players around him defensively. Here's the pass now. Oh, I'll let you work it out yourself. They'll say I'm biased if I say it was forward.
You're right about that, but the man he stepped inside when he went back to the right-hand side was John Hapawadi, so he knew that Tahu was going to be unmarked. He knew who he had to get the ball to. Question mark over the pass, but he's a smart player.
Hill, Mark Hughes. Now, these two had a great battle in the round 3 clash. Hill and Hughes, and I'm sure it hasn't been forgotten by either player. Craig Field, the little man, has a very good kick, and McDougall was ready for it. He brings it back with plenty of vigour. They come up on him. They've got him to do it with numbers. McGuinness knocked him off balance.
He's caught one around the melon again, McDougall.
That might have been on the way down. Tamana Tahu.
He's a hard man to stop full steam ahead. It was a little bit high there from McGuinness, but Play on. You get that?
Yeah, it was just a wayward hand, really coming off the shoulder and up into the face of McDougall.
They'd all be play on if you made the rules, wouldn't they, Bob?
Peter Shields. Gidley flips it out the back. Tahu stepping off that right boot. He's lethal. But Hopewade came again, stood his ground. Johns wants it quickly. That's Matthew. Now Andrew has runners lining up on the outside. Shields, Hughes, catch and pass. Lenny Beckett showing his strength. He got over the line, Lenny Beckett, but I don't think he got the ball down.
Yeah, I don't think it was the last tackle neither. They made the incision over the other side of the field through a flick pass from Gidley, then spread the football back over here to the left-hand side. Some good flat passing. This is where they are good at. They cut out a fair few players. The Tigers did well to slide off there. Joel Kane that time. Terry Hill comes over the top with the assist.
Mark Hughes had plenty of confidence in the strength of Lenny Beckett, didn't he? He knew he wasn't giving him much room, but he thought he's still a chance of getting to the line. He got there, just couldn't get the ball down. It was well done from Joel Kane to hold him up. Craig Field has been struggling since the first try that the West Tigers scored. He was limping around and not looking too comfortable then, and now he looks injured again. It looks like an ankle.
Well, that just shows you how much they need him out there. He kicks more than any other player in the NRL. I also think he probably touches the ball more often than any other player in the NRL. Gidley, McGuinness goes low. That's about what he's going to have to do all day on Gidley, which is going to allow Matthew Gidley to get those passes away. Shields dangerously close to the line. Kadiris looks at the options. Matt Parsons. Oh, Rahihi just strolls through off a very short ball from Andrew Johns, and the scores should be level here in just a few moments.
They slid off a little bit on Johns there. If he goes at the line, you've got to commit and have the confidence on the bloke on the outside of you. Just have a look at here. Rahihi comes. They go wide again. It was Terry Hill who slid off.
It was well done from Andrew Johns. He dummied first, which made it look like Rahihi had gone past him, and then straightened up and then gave the pass. Terry Hill had gone past Rahihi before he actually received the pass. There it comes from Parsons. It was to Johns, the dummy, and then gave the ball to Rahihi. Nice play. The crowd here seemed to think there's a question mark over the pass, but let's play on.
Well, that you get a try and you get put on the bench. That'd be revved up. You get a meaty. You want to stay out there.
Successful from straight in front, Andrew Johns.
Terry Hill scared of that happening again. He just slides off a touch and through Rahihi he goes.
Craig Field. As Jason Taylor touched on, he's struggling with that ankle injury, it appears to be. McDougall. David Fairley. A bit of a jig and then a weave. And what a big year he's had. Field back out there, adding some starch to that hitter. Matthew Johns for Shields, the run around. Gidley. They swarm upon him. Michael Gillette made the tackle. Peter Shields averages 2.2 offloads per game, and there's another one. Billy Peden. Beautiful ball for Lenny Beckett with a good step away from the sideline. Fifth tackle from Newcastle. 40 away from the try line. High ball. Matthew Johns is coming through quickly. It goes away from Sears, who gets the better jump. It was tapped back by Johns. They've come up with a try here, Newcastle. I believe it's a try. So does Billy Harrigan. What about the work from Matthew Johns? The bounce favoured the Newcastle Knights.
Yeah, it was a good kick on the end of that set of 6, but there was a few one-on-one misses there from the Tigers in that set. A little bit of lazy defence. Matty Sears tried to get across to catch it on the full. Tap back. Shields right on the spot. Won't score an easier one than that. But the signs were there early in the set.
The awareness from Matthew Johns there that Peter Shields is coming through behind him was amazing. He just tapped it straight back to him. Matt Sears really didn't have a chance. It wasn't one of Andrew Johns' best kick. He was looking to make it a difficult one to catch as he puts the ball between the post. He was looking to make it difficult to catch with a torpedo-style bomb, but he didn't hit it well. That caused it to dip and bounce before Matt Sears could get to it. And then the rest is history. Great play from Matthew Johns.
Newcastle Knights who were shell-shocked. They were down by 6-0 after just 2 minutes, but 2 tries now in the past 3 minutes. And that man has put Newcastle well and truly back in the hunt.
And they're starting to get a little bit more football there too. The Newcastle Knights, they were starved of it in the first 15. And they've scored back-to-back tries now. The Tigers have got to stiffen up one-on-one in their defence.
It goes to Butterfield.
It's a real mental game for the Tigers now, Blocker. They were leading so well last week and then ended up losing the game to the Bulldogs. And after having a nice lead of 6-0, maybe should have been 8, they find themselves behind by 6 points. They're certainly not out of this game. There's a real long way to go, but mentally, they really have to lift themselves for the remainder of the half and really get back in the fight.
There's an age to go yet. Peter Shields, Glenn Grief and Butterfield. They're keen. There's Butterfield. Rudder. One of his junior football as a halfback, but Andrew Johns is the halfback and the kicker for Newcastle. That ball bounces well for Newcastle.
He makes you play at every kick, Johns. So well structured with his kicking game.
Matt Sears. That possession is certainly evened up now for Newcastle. Terry Hill has struggled all week with a badly caught
Don't you dare run in, John.
right thigh.
Don't you dare run in. No, just stay away. I've got a penalty.
Well, someone's got caught for a high tackle here.
Just went a little bit high on Terry Hill.
Rudder. I don't think it'll worry Terry too much.
Not much in that one, but
A nice place to get a penalty.
interesting that...
I can't believe they're taking the tap.
Oh! Close to the hit of the year, I thought. Butterfield racing up on Scandalis. Big collision.
Just got caught running crossfield a little bit. Gee, positioned himself well then. Another lost ball now to the Tigers, a turnover of the Knights.
Back they come with the counter-attack. Rahi. They're grabbing at him.
They just let their heads drop a little bit, the Tigers, when they get something that goes against them. They'll have the last try when the bounce didn't favour them. Got to lift again.
David Fairley. Upended by Scandalis. Crouch was down low. Andrew Johns to the line. The offload pops it back from Rudder. Quick hands from Matthew Johns. Rahihi 5 away.
Didn't even look on his outside then, Rahidi. A 3-on-1.
Outside in trouble here. Tamana Tahu races across. The third try for the Newcastle Knights. Try number 17 for Tamana Tahu. Newcastle now well and truly on top.
What they should have done, the Tigers, was take their breath, kick the touch, relax a little bit, then roll into that set. They tried to outsmart themselves, turn the football over, and this is the result.
Often when you play against the Newcastle Knights, they play such an exciting brand of football. It looks so good. It cons you into wanting to play the same style. The Tigers had that set of 6. It was a great relieving penalty they got. They should have really worked away from their own line and just got to the other end of the field. Instead, they gave the Knights a chance, and Matt Gidley just played that nicely. He just drifted across towards what Rahihi was... Tahu, sorry, it was, tiptoeing down the sideline, brought it around to make it a little bit easier for Andrew Johns.
17 tries for the year. And he was about 4th pick at the beginning of the year.
I saw Paul Rahihi liked the fact that I thought it was him tiptoeing down the sideline.
Particularly showing that sort of
He'll be
speed.
number 1 pick now. Albert's been dropped to reserve grade, scored a hat-trick today too, or first division. Robbie Beckett and also Tahu. The choices of Ryan. Who could argue?
Lenny Beckett been going fantastic on that left wing. Tahu on the right. It's a pretty good backline to play on the end of. Andrew Johns. Probably his toughest assignment of the day. It's well wide of the uprights. Waved away the scoreline. 16. He's won 27 of those matches. Retiring at the end of this year. David Fairley. Yeah, a rookie compared to Warren Ryan, but he played under him.
There's a bit of a stink between David Fairley and John Hopewadi going on at the moment.
Well, Hopawade could be in trouble if this is allowed to go, because he's had a couple of warnings from Billy Harrigan. Fairley gets up, and then Hopawade tips him again. That's Andrew Johns. Flicks it out the back now.
I'll be worrying about defending on my side. They've scored a couple of tries down that side, rather than going with the wrestling match.
Maybe that got a mention. There they go again down that right side. Badiris, look, flicks it back. Tahu was in touch.
Do you want to report on those two, mate?
The little chip kick was just a little bit wide. Badiris did well. I don't think he was in touch, in fact.
On his head, rubbing on his head, get it out. And let's just not do it, right? Get it out. Here we go.
Billy Harrigan, a good choice to control this game, because there was always going to be plenty of tension. There's plenty at stake. And Harrigan keeps a pretty cool head in a crisis. Wakefield, Hill trying to get involved in this game. And a big effort just to get out there on the park. Sears, quick hands they need here. Joel Kane, Beckett came quickly at him. There's some pace out there today. Luke O'Donnell trying to get himself involved in this game is O'Donnell. A devastating runner of the ball. Centre picks up 10. McGrath thought Newcastle inside the 10 metres. They're getting up quickly, I know that. McGuinness. Kevin McGuinness taking a ground. Final tackle. Craig Field kicking in behind the line, looking for that gap. Oh! Play on, knock on John Scandalis.
Well, the question here is, did the fullback make the knock-on first, McDougall? That's what he's going to rule.
Yeah. Nicely weighted little kick. Nicely weighted little kick from Craig Field. Just landed it in the spaces. Had some good chases put out of McDougall under pressure. And he's called that one there was a knock-on from McDougall, which then went into Scandalis' leg.
Yeah, Jason, you mentioned a little bit earlier about players mixing their game up and using their brains. Craig Field, that time, that was good play. They put the ball up the last couple of times. That time, the little chip over the top.
Well, that feed went to Newcastle. So the knock-on went against Scandalis.
Well, I must have heard it wrong, but I was sure that Bill Harrigan said Newcastle knocked it on first.
Yeah, the crowd not too happy with that call. Badiris. Driven towards the sideline, but he stays in, Paul Rahihi. And he made his debut in round 17 last year, and just hanging on way too long, the West Tigers.
Craig Field down again in back plate, right where the penalty's been awarded.
He cops it a couple of times here, accidentally, in the head. So the trainer, Andrew Leeds, is showing major concern for Craig Field. The big question is who'll play halfback.
I'm sure that they'd slot Gillette in there.
Parsons lines up those big legs, gets a couple of metres inside. West Tigers territory. Badiris taking the ground. Crouch went low. In fact, Galea it was. Again, oh, Shields.
They've got the field well covered, haven't they, the Newcastle Knights? If it's not Tahu or Beckett making breaks out wide, or John's in the middle of the ruck, it's Badiris from dummy half. This time a little bit too adventurous.
Even plays like that one there from Shields, it went astray a little, but all of them with the ball in their hands can hit the ball, the right man who needs to be passed to at the time. It's not just Andrew or Matthew that can create the spaces.
Cherry Mesha, the halfback.
Mesha. Smith back on the inside, O'Donnell. Centre looks around. Yep. Mark O'Neill goes forward. They're still 10 short. One out stuffed by the West Tigers. Smith, Tyron Smith. They muscle up on him well. Rahihi it was. Mesha. Oh, took the line on. Fifth tackle. Centre. High ball, just a speculator. McDougall facing away from the sun. Took it well, and they're being bustled in their fifth tackle options, the Tigers. McDougall to Manatahu. Picked up his 17th try of the year. He lost that.
Well, that's the first bit of luck that's gone the West Tigers' way so far in this first half. It's been all the Newcastle Knights have won the little decisions. Should have been a penalty there for lifting. They're not allowed to lift. The ball goes loose. There's David Fairley having a breather. Tigers with another chance.
Sits down. Big chance this one for the Tigers. Galea, good pass, but they're up on hill very quickly. Mark Hughes all over him. Joel Kane away from the right flank. Hughes came again. Very busy in defence, Mark Hughes. O'Donnell wants it, goes sideways. Oh, knock on. Play on is the call. Oh, a little bit of luck going the way of the Tigers.
Well, O'Donnell's got to learn to straighten up a little bit. You're an easy target running across the field.
Santi scored the opening try after just 2 minutes of play. 15 away from that try line now. Couple of tackles left. Short side play, intercept to Manatahu. He read it well. He's very quick. So too McGuinness. So too Sears. Sears got him. Big chase, Matt Sears. But still, Newcastle will hurt them now. Gidley goes forward. Big long ball by Matthew Johns now to the centre of the park. The Tigers must be hurting. Parsons upended. Solid tackle, Crouch. Andrew Johns to the line. Shears over the top to slow it down.
They're still short on the blind.
Rudder stepping, fending off one. Quick hands. Tahu knock on. Knock back is the call. Andrew Johns crossfield kick. They've got some numbers here. Well, he was under tremendous pressure. It was Joel Kane. He had no choice. Billy Peden came quickly.
Well, he got there first, didn't he? Peden. Had he been able to catch the ball on the full, that was try time.
It was, but that was a great set of six in defence from the West Tigers. Darren Centre just headed across field. Tahu read it perfectly. He knew they had the numbers. The Tigers had the numbers, so Tahu decided to take the chance at it. Matt Sears, very quick. Cleaned him up fairly quickly, but a real big set of six in defence from the West Tigers. They were shot to ribbons, but they hung on, and that was important because if the Knights had been able to get across the try line there, only a couple of minutes out from half-time.
This hurts. Getting to the feet before playing the ball.
Having said that, they have to do it all again with 2 minutes 30 left on the clock.
They're a coach killer, this one. He just can't do it. Got to get up first.
As I was saying, the little decisions. One of them's gone the West Tigers' way, but as I said earlier, they've got a great ability to absorb punishment, the Knights.
Back they come. McDougall. Oh, Hopawate, good driving tackle. Just got him going sideways a little bit and then kept it going.
It's interesting when Hopawate is on the big side of the field. McGuinness goes outside him and defends on the wing because of the danger of the speed of Tamana Tahu.
Lashing out with the feet, Parsons. Matthew Johns. Big couple of minutes coming up for the Tigers. Badiris, rubber kick. It goes there. Just feel the pressure come off the shoulders of the Tigers.
Field just about to come back onto the field, but you have a look at the Tigers' defence there on the blind side again. They ball watched. Badiris went to the line. The idea was right. Just a little bit too deep. In the championship rounds now, a minute 20 to go. The Tigers have got to get off their own line.
Santi, that was playing it back.
It's a straight.
Measure. Well, they are hanging around the play the ball area for a long time, Newcastle. Myron Smith. Well, is there obstruction? No. With it back in the sand pit. Measure. O'Donnell going backwards. Glenn Grief completes the tackle, but they are slowing to play the ball down. And O'Donnell and Grief, it's on, it stops now. Grief throws a couple more, McDougall takes the ball. It's on again. And now off. Back to starting positions, everybody.
No way.
Well, there would be teams in the competition that you would come into the game thinking that you can ruffle their feathers a bit if you put these sort of tactics on them. But I don't know if Newcastle are one of them. I think it plays into their hands.
Oh, they love it.
Just thought there was half a chance there for Gavir. Now, that's a voluntary tackle, is it? Maybe not. Reef just falling on the ball and playing dead. Half-time siren. Fair bit of drama. Fair bit of controversy. 3 tries to 1. Listen to the reception.
I will say in defence...
the farewell he gets, Bill Harrigan.
I will say in defence of the Tigers that they're desperate. They're behind the scoreboard, 16-6. They're something to incite. They've incited the crowd.
There's no doubt that the 16-6 scoreboard is disappointing after leading 6-0. But you listen to the crowd here giving it to Bill Harrigan. But after what went on in the last 10 minutes, it could have been worse for the Tigers.
Is the fight that took place just moments ago. Luke O'Donnell was the aggressor.
Well, there's no use starting one if you can't finish it.
Newcastle Knights, they get back to their rooms. Shell-shocked after the opening couple of minutes. And the Tigers, they've got 10 minutes now. They've got to regroup. And they've got to get themselves back into this game. In that last 5 minutes, they held on pretty well, but they were just holding on. 16 points to 6 is the half-time scoreline. We'll take a short break from Campbelltown. It's the half-time scoreline at Campbelltown. A 10-point break to the Newcastle Knights. They were down on the scoreboard, but they came back with 3 quick tries. Rahihi, Shields, and Tamana Tahu getting across the stripe. I guess a big 40 minutes coming up, Locker, isn't it?
Yeah, what the Tigers have got to do is cut out their error rate. They're finding it very difficult to get off their own line. It's a lot of one-out stuff. They've got to try and move the Newcastle Knights defence around a little bit, and they're just playing straight in their hands at the moment.
Big crowd here, good atmosphere, and this was not the start the Newcastle Knights were looking for, and you don't see it very often. Adam McDougall coming up with a blunder, a knock-on from kickoff, and that allowed the Tigers a good set of 6.
Well, they were always going to start off so well, weren't they, the Tigers, especially after that drop ball there from McDougall. Good try there to Villasanti. Showed plenty of strength for such a young player. Just a little inside pass there, and he just powered straight through the middle of their ruck.
The Tigers had plenty of ball early on, but then the Newcastle Knights, they came back and they dominated possession. 14 offloads, Blocker. They've had plenty of second phase play.
When you go in and play against the Newcastle Knights, as we mentioned in the first half with Jason Taylor, they've got so many players with plenty of ability who can offload in that second phase play. You've got to try and stop that and be able to tackle one-on-one.
The Newcastle Knights, they level the scoreboard up at 6 points apiece. Andrew Johns, a short ball. From that angle, it looks a little bit forward. I think it was fair enough.
I think it was fair enough too. I thought the defence there of the Tigers was a little bit skinny out wide, and Terry Hill really slid off, and that allowed Rahiti to go straight through and score the try. Good ball play there from Andrew Johns.
The Newcastle Knights are making sure Kevin McGuinness does plenty of tackling. He's come up with 11, and Rudder also in the back row for the Newcastle Knights. 14 tackles and the 2 hit-ups. They scored 2 tries in the space of 4 minutes, and there was a little bit of luck about this. The ball just drifting further and further away from Matt Sears.
Always a danger when you play against good football sides. It's not going to allow them to score back-to-back tries. That time, a little bit of luck there. Shields gets the football, knocked it back in, and here's the 3rd try that they scored. Just down that right-hand side there, and Tahi gets that try there.
And no doubt about that. Try number 3 for the Newcastle Knights. They're setting up that 16 points to 6 scoreline. Craig Field handles the ball more than any other halfback in the NRL, and he was injured in this, and he's lost the last 7 minutes of play.
Yeah, and they look pretty ordinary without him on there. He is the on-field general. They really need him to come out in the second half. It'll be interesting to see if he does. I'm sure he will. It's the last bite of the cherry for the Tigers for this season. Yeah,
some minor bushfires here also. There's been about 3 minor fights in this game. Plenty of feeling out here at Campbelltown. The second 40 minutes is coming up after this very short break. Newcastle Knights as they come back out onto Campbelltown. Tremendous support. The West Tigers, well, big 40 minutes coming up for them. They've got a job to do. The equation is quite simple. They must narrow this gap, they must get in front, and they must stay in front. Big games going on today, 3. So the West Tigers at this stage can only worry about themselves. At the moment, they are in 9th position on the competition table. They are absolutely desperate for the 2 competition points.
Good news for the Tigers too, just as they run out onto the field. Craig Field coming back onto the park for the second half. Really need him.
Really is a question of the Tigers believing in themselves in this second half. If they're walking out on the field thinking we're behind by the 10 points, I don't know if we can get back into the game, then they are gone. But if they really believe they can get into it, start in this first 10-15 minutes with some really good footy, we'll see a great game in their hands.
Andrew Johns with a very high restart, which he does, and it allows plenty of hang time and allows the defenders to get there very quickly on the player bringing the ball back, Michael Gillette. Centre. We saw the Tigers come up with some elementary errors late in that opening half. Richard Villasanti goes forward, tackled 20 short of that halfway line. Centre, Scandalis, involved in a couple of minor altercations.
Well, that's what I was trying to talk about at half-time, moving the defence around. They're at their kick now. There was 2 dummy half runs and 3 runs, just 1 off the ruck.
That kick just going over the head of McDougall. He allows it to go back. Don't forget, he's a winger by trade, forced to play full-back with that injury to Robbie O'Davis. In saying all that, 17 games at full-back for 14 tries is a good effort, to say the least.
And have a look at their outside backs too, the Newcastle Knights. And you mentioned Tahu with 17 tries now. The ball got up over to Gidley with the least with 7 tries in their back line. Plenty of try-scoring ability there.
Ryder plays it back quickly.
And he sets up plenty.
Butterfield. 10 metres inside West Tigers territory. Badiris for Andrew Johns. Here comes this high, spiralling torpedo bomb. Kane under pressure. Shears comes away. Shears is quick. He's got Simpson to beat. Simpson did well. Andrew Johns came across. Stay with the Tigers play. They got a second shove. Play the ball is the call.
There should have been a penalty there. We saw Bill Harrigan penalised for that sort of thing in the second tackle a couple of times in the first half.
And there it is.
Matty Johns pulled it.
The penalty came. He wants a quick play.
You've got to get your markets back on the line, mate.
Just the momentum has been taken away from the Tigers. Joining us on the sideline now is Darren Albert from the Newcastle Knights. Darren, 16-6. Warren Ryan happy?
Yeah, he's not too. Yeah, he's pretty pleased about that. We're completing pretty well. He said we could do better in the second half, but on the whole, we're not doing too bad. We tend to let the forwards let their players get up too quick, and so. Watch out for that. So we just got to hold them down a little bit longer, give ourselves a bit more time to get back on side.
Been physical.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because they're doing really well, finding their hands and knees, and they're getting quick play of the ball, so it's making it difficult for us, but we're trying to do our best to keep them down a bit.
Darren, thanks for your time.
No worries.
Darren Albert joining us on the sidelines. Played earlier today in the First Division. There's Gillette. Shows it. They get to within 10 metres of the try line. They've got to make a good start here, the Tigers, to narrow this 10-point gap. McGuinness flicks it out the back for Craig Field. Scandalis, he just puts the head down, goes forward, thinks about the offload.
Great defence there from the Newcastle Knights. The Tigers tried to reverse play a couple of occasions. That time, they stayed alive on both sides of the ruck.
Craig Field, the little grubber, well placed. Gillette comes quickly. Was Craig Field taken out of play?
Look at that, because he got close to that down here.
Well, they're going to the video referee here.
I think Billy Harrigan was thinking about a penalty too.
Eddie Ward, I think he'll have a look at this first locker, see what happens upstairs with Eddie Ward. There's Gillette, who has a big desperate lunge. It's closer than you think. It's dead. And now, will he give a penalty? Or will we come back to the 20?
Bill Harrigan clearly stayed in the field of play. It looked to me as though he was going to give a penalty.
So he's allowing the advantage to be played out here. You'll see a red no try come up. There it is. Goal line dropout.
So he's called that McDougall's taken it over here.
Has he, though? He has.
Well, he's had last touch, hasn't he, McDougall?
Just.
He actually doesn't take it over because his left foot was over the dead ball line before his right foot touched it, and in the rules that means
Back to the 20.
back to the 20.
So he was dead. Hopewade out of one. Needs to get the ball away. McGuinness goes for the try line. Little Kevin McGuinness. He puts it down eventually. He was running all the way back to send it. At one stage, McGuinness got it down. They're back in the game now, the Tigers. A little bit of luck.
That's his 13th try of the season. We mentioned what a great broken field runner he is. We haven't seen him in that position so far in the game until now. Hopewade busts out of a couple of tackles. He's got plenty of speed, McGuinness. And what a finish.
Yes, nice play from John Hopewade, wasn't it? He attracted 2 or 3 defenders and then got a nice pass away. Kevin McGuinness scared the hell out of me here, I've got to say. Adam McDougall's a strong defender and could have easily pushed him over the touch-in goal line there.
If he breathed it.
McGuinness got it down and it's a 4-pointer for the West Tigers.
I know there's been a couple of niggly penalties from John Hopewade today, but gee, he puts himself into the game. That was great play there.
Just put it down, Kevin.
Oh, improve your position, young fella.
By a metre. Joel Kane's happy about that.
Kevin McGuinness, they call him Buddha. Getting the Tigers back in, he salutes the crowd. A long way to go yet. His debut back in 1995, so he's been around for that 6 seasons. A real crowd favourite, particularly here.
He scores a lot of tries. He scores a lot of tries off Hopewade too. They swap positions. One goes into the centre and one goes back onto the wing. Each time he found himself out there. This is an important kick.
50% record today, Joel Kane. Second most accurate goal kicker in the competition. Slips over, heads towards the uprights. Not happy.
When you splash out on a new Aquarius pool for innovative...
Dead in goal off one of the Tiger players. I think it was Villasanti. Now it'll be a line drop out.
We saw this happen to the Tigers 2 weeks ago. In Hayes Lauder, I think twice, allowing the ball from restarts to go dead. Elementary part of the game, letting the Tigers down. Big Butterfield, no buts about this man.
He's done that a few times, taking the ball forward.
Yeah, this is the last of the originals for the Newcastle Knights. Played their first game way back in 1988. Matthew Johns over the Henny Penny Newcastle Knights. Medeiros, Rudder. Had Simpson on the outside, a little bit high, lost it.
Call tackle 4.
He was just trying to get up and play the ball quickly and lost grip of the ball.
It's Tyron Smith that comes up with another positive tackle over the top, albeit it might be a little high. Trying to get to his feet there, Rudder.
So many little things that happen in a game and really determine the outcome, and it was an important period there, wasn't it? The West Tigers had got themselves back into the game with that great try from Kevin McGuinness, and then the mistake from the kickoff almost allowed Newcastle to get away from them again, but they've hung on. They need to work off their line here and get to the other end of the field, and they're back into this game.
With O'Donnell, will just keep on coming. Averages over 100 metres gained per match. Mark O'Neill. So they're just running from dummy half, trying to pick up some cheap meters. 5th tackle now, though. Still deep inside their own territory. Gillette, bad kick that one.
It's a shocking kick.
It could have gone anywhere except for there.
Looked like he picked him out. Kick it to him straight on the full.
Simpson, good driving tackle. Lulala. Lays it back one on that halfway line. Fairley picks up another 10 metres, picks up another offload. Butterfield, wrapped up by Smith. Andrew Johns casually waits for it. Slips it back on the inside for Rudder. Out the back, Tigers ball.
The runner's been involved in the last 2 mistakes that Newcastle Knights have made. Tigers on the turnover.
We just thought they needed some quick hands if it was possible. O'Donnell again runs into some heavy traffic. Medeiros was the man who got him. Smith. Wakefield. Double punt for Terry Hill. Hill back on the inside for Sears. They got him at the same time he got the ball. Wakefield. Centre. Smith. Tyron Smith pumping the legs for Gillette. Michael Gillette, the offload, forcing the ball. McDougall comes away.
Steve Roach has been on about it all day, about when the Tigers play a negative set of 6, it's just not helping them. That was so positive, that set, and gee, they look dangerous. Unlucky towards the end there. I thought Michael Gillette might have been able to get it to Darren Centre just a little bit earlier as Tahu comes down the right-hand side.
Mana Tahu got away from the tackle. McGuinness missed him. He's quick. Sears is trying hard. To Mana Tahu. He picks up another double. He's a try-scoring freak. Will there be a slam dunk? No slam dunk. Game too tight. That'll hurt, though. They get back that 10-point advantage. 20 points to 10.
Just didn't adjust in their defence quick enough straight away from the turnover there. They lost possession after a positive set. And they read the game so well, don't they, the Newcastle Knights? They see they've got the numbers. A foot race now. McGuinness comes across. Tahu skips out of the tackle. There's no way Matt Sears is going to get across here quick enough. Tahu goes under the post.
Like he'd cut him down once. That was in the 35th minute. He just couldn't get there again.
Great fend.
Good fend. In fairness to McGuinness, he was trying to cover 3 blokes back on the inside.
It really does hurt, that one, doesn't it? The Tigers, as we were talking about, were a chance of scoring at the other end. The Michael Gillette pass finds Darren Centre. Maybe it's 6 points to the Tigers, but instead it's 6 points to the Knights.
Warren Ryan a lot more happy with that response. Did his bends. Or maybe even a Ferrari, or a little bit of everything in between.
I would call it an inheritance.
with a couple of big Mack trucks up in the front row.
Mum and Dad have had plenty and passed it on to you.
What a great head start. Glenn Grief. 22-10. 10-point break. Steve Simpson. 4 line breaks for the year. Short side they went. Straight through goes Joey Johns. Andrew Johns away. Has Beckett. The cover comes. Oh! He never gave it. He never gave it, Andrew Johns.
Just give a rap to Matt Sears. It was great play. Johns was trying to draw him across to get the pass on the inside, but Sears covered the pass and then took the man.
He's human. It's the first one I've ever seen him
Beckett
blow.
came on the inside. Watch Matt Sears. There he was. He just came on a perfect angle.
And he
couldn't get the pass.
And he went at him at speed too. He didn't hang off. Once he made the decision, he put the pressure on.
Puts his body on the line, Matt Sears. There's no doubt about that.
A lot of bad head cuts early on in the year. Every time he stepped down, he was being patched up. Joel Kane found it hard to get involved in this game. He scored 3 tries in the opening round against Brisbane. Scandalis.
Makes no difference to your viewing of the game.
Can't get the offload away. The Tigers dangerously placed in 9th position on the ladder. Simply they must win. To keep control of their own destiny, they must win. Little chip in behind the line, it's too big, and McDougall comes back. They're not really playing for field position at this stage.
That kick just says to me, we need to try something fancy. We can't find a way through. We need to do something spectacular. And with 28 minutes on the clock, that's not the answer. It's easy to sit up here calm and relaxed and say that it's not. But that's the message that needs to go out to the guys out there. Just keep at it. Play some attacking football, but don't just turn the possession over, because the Knights will hurt you.
Mark Hughes and now Matt Parsons. That's the halfway line. Parsons plays the ball back on. Dearest. Oh, loose ball. Knock on. Well, Tamana Tahu. About the first mistake he's made in 3 months.
I wouldn't even say it was his error. Really, the pass wasn't that good to him.
Exactly right. I'll take it back. He hasn't made a blunder in 3 months.
Wait, seconds in.
What are you
Locks in. Don't break. Now.
Saying that he's not ready to play international football yet. Terry Hill, the go-to man for the Tigers. Joel Kane got to stay in the field of play. Only the first tackle. Craig Field's ready. Gets it now. O'Donnell's ready. So too Badiris. A good offload. Comes from Mark O'Neill. Stepping. Bogged down in the sandpit. Craig Field to the line. Crouch. Stephen Crouch. Smith. Can't get the ball away. Craig Field, they're up on Matt Sears quickly. He had to beat that tackle, just couldn't get away from Johns. Craig Field, rubber kick, coming quickly, fraction too big.
And McDougall was very confident it was going dead, wasn't he? He just strolled across there.
They look a lot more dangerous when the opposition's very tired now in the Newcastle Knights, and Craig Field goes to dummy half. It looks like something's going to happen for him when that happens.
They just haven't been able to get enough.
Well, it's a bit of a makeshift side.
Sets of 6.
And for the Tigers, a bit makeshift too, isn't it? They've got a hooker playing 5'8" at the moment. Top tacklers for the West Tigers, Mark O'Neill, the only junior they got left. 18 tackles from him. Centre, Luke O'Donnell, McGuinness working hard out in the backs.
Shields, the offload for Rahihi. Centre just jumped up and went for a bit of a ride. For Mark Hughes, great ball from Mark Hughes. What a money ball it was for Lenny Beckett, and Lenny Beckett, he cashes in on the money ball. The Newcastle Knights take control of this game. Their 5th try of the afternoon. They bump it out now, 26-10.
They love putting numbers on the short side, don't they? Try and outnumber you there. Just have a look at how many Newcastle Knights players are in motion. Great pass there around the corner from Hughes. Beckett got too much pace there for Terry Hill.
They just play right in your line, don't they? When they have a shot at you, they're all coming at you at the one time. Hughes gets on the outside, and Beckett kept coming. Got past his man, similar to when Rahihi scored in the first half. He just kept coming through and got behind the line before he actually received the ball. Beckett was on the other side of the West Tigers defence. Got the ball, and it was just a clear run to the line. Nice play, Mark Hughes.
Hard to believe he found it hard to get a start at Penrith or Parramatta, Lenny Beckett, and now has 11 tries for the year at the Newcastle Knights. 75 success rate for Andrew Johns. No man has scored more points for Newcastle than Andrew Johns, and he will continue to build on that tally and really set a mark for anybody who comes along in Newcastle. He struck that beautifully. The flags are up. They stretch that lead now even further. Knock on, just a minor one, but they count just the same.
They've worked something out now on the scoreboard. They've got it back to 30-10.
It's coming back slowly but surely. Just keep an eye on this.
And Newcastle haven't kicked a goal, according to them.
12-6. Newcastle. Tyron Smith. Darren centre. Crouch gets down, and Newcastle do a great job of getting the opposition on their backs. Craig Field. Lenny Beckett goes back quickly. Joel Kane got there. Joel Kane did very well. What about the quick hands? He just picked it up high and slammed it down quickly. Billy Harrigan doesn't need to go to the video referee. The Tigers get back with 11 to go.
A little set play there from the Tigers. Craig Field saw that the winger had come up. A little kick in behind. What a great play it is. The bounce favours Joel Kane. As you said, how quick was his hand? Straight down.
It was nice and wide, wasn't he, Joel Kane? The Knights' defence was jammed up a little bit, and Joel Kane stayed right out on the sideline, gave himself a straight run to the ball. The kick was perfectly placed. It's one thing to make a decision to go for something like that, but it's another to place the kick so perfectly, have it sit up for your winger at just the right time. It was a nice play.
Joel Kane. Speaking about Tamana Tahu and scoring tries, he's also done exceptionally well. 13 tries for the year. His first of the day. He started the season at fullback, did Joel Kane. Took over the kicking responsibilities. And at this stage, a 73 success rate for the season. I'm not going to talk him up too much because he's been in good form with the boot, but today just hasn't been striking them as nicely as he would like. But this is a tough kick. 22 back, half a metre in to convert his own try. He gives it, A good chance. Ball hits the upright, waved away. Galea. Crouch. Stephen Crouch. Took a couple for a ride there in Rahihi. He lost that ball, but play on is the call. Oh, Scandalis.
That's ball.
Juggled it. Chiriako Mesha. Back it goes. Craig Field chipping for himself. Who's coming through? They've got it again. Oh, Galea showed it. Puts the ears back. Matt says, what a man to have on here outside. 2 tries in 3 minutes. Maybe the Tigers are back.
Eddie, I got no idea where he comes from. Favours the break, doesn't it? A little chip over the top. Craig Field again.
Did you get a look at him?
Again, perfect that time. Luke O'Donnell, he catches the football and the support comes from everywhere.
Have a look at the whole thing.
I don't know why they'd be having a look at this.
He said he wanted to have a look at where Galea came from because he said, Bill Harrigan's words were, I had no idea where he came from. Let's see if he's onside. He's onside. It's going to be a fair try, no doubt about that. He
did well too, didn't he? Plenty of speed. McDougall trips over. Sears supports the football. Back-to-back tries for the Tigers.
And Sears gets the cash. You'll see a green try come up here, favouring the home side, the Tigers. Sears backing up superbly. They're back to that 10-point break.
Yeah, nice little play from Craig Field. He's laid the last 2 tries on with a nice kick. There was still plenty of work to be done here. Ben Galea does extremely well through the dummy and just pulled Andrew Johns on before giving it to Matt Sears, and they weren't going to get in from there.
Joel Kane would also be happy with the way this try has been scored and where it has been scored. And playing Pierce, I'm sure, very tense on the inside, quite calm on the outside. Kane 1 from 4. He should be 2 from 5 after this. Flags are up. The Tigers, they've got the momentum at the moment, but they still trail by more than a converted try.
Ben Galea, really impressive stuff. Craig Field probably wouldn't have mentioned to him that he was going to put the short kick in there, but Ben Galea just read it. He came from the other side of the ruck. Craig wasn't kicking for himself, but Galea did the rest. It was great work.
Chiriako Mesha picks up another 10 metres. They go short side and Luke O'Donnell. Tough ball. Big crowd against the Bulldogs back in round 11 of 18,000. I thought they may topple that today, but they won't. 12,793. Still a good effort. Beautiful day in Sydney. O'Donnell the decoy for Craig Field. Gets a little bit of cover, but again, love that ball to go over the back of the head of Tamana Tahu, because now they bring it back and they're on the attack.
They drop those 3 players back there, the Knights, most times when the opposition's about to kick, so it's not as easy as it looks to find the space. They're very quick. You put the ball in the air, it's only got to hang there for a couple of seconds, and Tahu or Beckett or the fullback will get to it.
Rudder picks out his skipper and Butterfield. Scandalis and Butterfield have had a pretty good running battle. Matthew Johns off the left foot, flicks it out the back of the Deers. 5th tackle. They're close enough if good enough, particularly with this man. Andrew Johns stabs it. The ball bounces up to Sears. And that's a pretty good outcome. If they go right-hand side, they've got a bit of room. Hill. Stay away from that sideline, Terry Hill. That's a very good charge of 20 metres.
And there's a penalty too. Rahihi with his hand all over the football. Terry Hill wins his side. The penalty is again. Fair enough too.
Yeah. wise enough.
Well, Darren Albert mentioned it at half-time, didn't he, that Wayne Ryan had said to his players just to lay on that little bit longer. A couple of penalties against them in the second half so far for that.
Luke O'Donnell.
Luke O'Donnell been strong today with Villasanti. Only young players, these three. O'Donnell, Villasanti and Scandalis leading the way for the Tigers.
Chiriaco Mesha again, he goes. Picks up 10. Rudder got him from behind. Wakefield. A bit of a smell now, the Tigers, haven't they? It's a good smell.
I reckon a few other coaches would be smiling having a look at the middle of the ruck of the Newcastle Knights today.
Wakefield. Luke O'Donnell. Pops it out the back to Wakefield again. Tyron Smith gets the fend on ruck. Hill goes back. Fifth tackle. Craigfield. High ball coming up. It's anybody's, this one. McDougall's going to play at it. Bounces well, or does it?
What do you do here, Jace? 28-20. Right in front of the penalty.
You've got to take it, do you? And get to within a converted try. Maybe a draw not good enough with 13 to go.
I reckon they're going to take the tap.
I found it hard to answer, Block. The two would be important because they are 8 behind. I suppose this set of 6 will vindicate the decision one way or the other.
I would have taken the 2. You're only 6 behind then.
Crouch. It could be a great decision, or maybe not. They go away from Craigfield and Tyron Smith. They swarm upon him. Mesha runs. He goes close, Mesha. So Crouch is the man at dummy half. Scandalis the decoy. They stab. Oh, they've got there! They've got there! Mark O'Neill just threaded his way through the defensive line. He chased onto the edge of the kick. And what a great decision it was to take the tap.
How good's Craigfield's kicking game today? They've got 3 tries off it. A little dribble in behind. They had Scandalis running a shepherd there. And watch the bounce. A couple of times it's made them brilliantly.
Called for the video ref just to see if he was onside, and he clearly was. So there'll be another 6 points to the West Tigers.
Scandalis ran the shadow for him.
There it is. The cheers from the big home crowd will tell you the story.
That's probably why I wasn't captain so much.
It was just good reading of the play from the 2 guys. I'm sure Craigfield, he may have mentioned to them that he was going to put the grubber in, but they both got on their bikes and really took off. Just put himself in the right position. Great try.
Mark O'Neill getting the try. Joel Kane, concentration. Paramount, the flags are up again. The Tigers, what a comeback this has been. 2-point ball game.
Well, here's McDougall going for the football. Ball knocked back. He's been penalised for pushing the Tiger player. Then straight away, they elect to take the tap and get a try on the 4th tackle.
Go back to a 2-point ball game. 5 tries apiece. The boot of Andrew Johns has been the difference. Joel Kane has had some very tough kicks. Hopper Whitehead comes away with it. They've had a fair bit of ball in the last 10 minutes, and they've scored 3 tries with that ball. Mesha. In virtually every arm wrestle the Tigers have been involved with throughout this year, they have come out on top. It's more their sort of game. Newcastle, though, capable of blowing away any opposition. Back it goes for Craigfield.
Going for a 40-20.
And it's rolling end over end, over end, over end. McDougall goes back to his try line. Slips over. The crowd get behind the home side.
Still plenty of time left on the clock for both these sides to win it. 11 minutes to go.
They've got
a sniff.
They really have lifted the Tigers over the last 10 or 15 minutes. They're racing off the line here, tackling with a lot of aggression. The Knights, they just soak it up. They know they've just got to work off there.
Big hit. Mesha came up with it. Play on is the call. A counter-attack. Craigfield heads for the try line, Craigfield. No need to panic for the Tigers. Plenty of time left. He's still down in the back play, Badiris. Andrew Johns realises how serious it is now. They've got to get back into that top 4. Craigfield. Steve Crouch. Crouch still going. 2 metres away. Badiris is still down in the back play. They go from dummy half. No way through. Few tackles left now. Crouch for Craigfield. Well, he's got to do something. He chips. Who's going to play at this? Well, Lenny Beckett. Oh, is that...
They're going to stop play there. Badiris is still down.
There's certainly no way we can be critical of Craigfield here. His kicking game has just been superb for the last 3 tries. He placed that one again well. Probably just didn't have the chasers coming through on Lenny Beckett to keep him in the end goal.
They're trying to con the ref here. I don't think they'll con Bill Harrigan.
Yeah,
Johns has come up to him and said he hit him around the head.
It was a good hit from Mesha. We're on the opposite side of the park, and let's have a look. He took it with plenty of vigour. He was...
I'll tell you what, that's fair enough challenge, that one.
He just got low as he came to Mesha. He dropped about...
Well, the ball runner was dropping.
Half a metre. He lined him up a long way out. Hooker on hooker. I think it's hard to say. There was no swinging.
There's no doubt he did bend his knees and lower himself into the tackle, Danny Badiris. Having said that, it's pretty clear that it got him around the head.
He's in a bit of trouble. It hasn't been placed on report.
I just don't know how much of it Bill Harrigan saw. He just...
It's hard to see from this angle. He does dip down here.
Definitely dips down. I looked at Bill Harrigan as it happened. He looked at Badiris laying on the ground and realised he was obviously in a bad way, but at the same time, he wasn't prepared to call the tackle up, so it was play on.
He got a good look at it.
And it doesn't matter if you're really dipping in the tackle. If you get hit in the head,
it's not good. There can be circumstances, though. The Tigers haven't missed too many tackles. Newcastle just missing the 14, the Tigers 17. The line breaks, they favour the Newcastle Knights, but it's 5 tries apiece. The offloads are where Newcastle have dominated.
It was always going to be the big problem for the Tigers.
Low completion rate by the Newcastle Knights, but that doesn't mean you can't score tries.
No, they try things with the football, don't they?
Well, they make you work in defence. Every time you do a set of 6 in defence against the Knights, you know you've been in defence because you work hard. They move the ball from one side of the field to the other, and they tire you out.
A great deal of concern being shown here for Danny Badiris. And they're going to take their time, and they're going to put him on the stretcher. And we don't like to see this at any ground. That was Badiris in trouble, just realising they had to go forward, the Newcastle Knights, out of their own territory. He got going forward okay, and Mesha could see him coming and got a good shot on him, and just as he was about to make that tackle, Badiris dipped a bit, and he did make contact with the head, but it's all happened in the thick of the action. It's happened at a great rate of knots. Mesha was happy with the hit, as he probably would think he still is.
They did well to hang on for that set of 6, the Newcastle Knights. The crowd give Danny Badiris some of their support. As you say, Terry, something we don't like to see. The Knights with 12 men. Craigfield was tackled 5 metres out from the line on the first tackle, and they were able to hang on. Could be very vital in the outcome of this game.
Let's just hope it's only precaution there. Sort of a neck problem there for Badiris.
Yeah. Badiris had the ball. Mesha has been dangerous for the West Tigers. So a good round of applause here for Danny Badiris, who's, as a precaution, has had the neck brace put on. And we have exactly 10 minutes to go. in what is such an important game for the West Tigers. 9th on the table. Oh, was that forward? Back it goes. David Fairley. Oh! Harrigan has allowed this game to flow. There's been some fiery moments. Simpson driven sideways in that defence. It's been solid by the Tigers. Sears comes back, gets a good bounce. And look at him bring it back. Won that Norwich Rising Star Award. That was way back in 1994, Matt Sears. McGuinness will just shephers and picks up another 10. The strip was going from Andrew Johns. Hopawate is pushed away by Mesha. Great field for Terry Hill. Hill likes to go over the top of his opponent. Keep away from the sideline. Great field again for centre. No run around. Centre puts the head down. 2-point ball game. 5th tackle now. The Tigers, little brother, great hands. Could be a big turning moment, that.
It's a
Peter Shields.
long way to bend down from 6'6" too, isn't it? He did it well.
They've been successful so far today for Craig Field. Tried to get that one in behind again. Probably looking more just for the repeat set of 6 that time. The West Tigers number 7. Great work from Shields.
David Fairley swung around in that tackle. Only 30 out from the run line. Andrew Johns, they're going to shift it. Gidley is a hard man to knock off bounce. That was 1-on-1. No, it wasn't. 2. There were 2 in the tackle, according to Bill Harrigan.
We go there. On the 4.
We get the advantage of the video, but it was close.
2 in.
Had Hupawati touched him before he got it?
Just got to have a hand on it. It happened pretty quickly. You can't blame Tyron Smith. He would have thought it was a good grab. Butterfield. 2 balls on the park at the moment. David Fairley. This is about the best field position that the Newcastle Knights have had for some 10 minutes. Shields, big Peter Shields, who came up with a good grab at the other end of the park. Matthew Johns, at the line he goes. Cheriako Mesha, 10 away from the line now. Andrew Johns, big cut-out ball for Gidley. Great tackle, Hopawate. Andrew Johns, short side play, a little bit of backyard stuff. He laid it out the back.
Over there.
The tackle was completed. Defensively, they've stood up well, the Tigers.
And that was the play they did in the grand final to win it in 97 against Manly side.
We've got
Take the ball back, get everyone back on side. Back it up, back it up. There, no, West ball. Terry, Darren, get out of there.
play on. O'Donnell, some good news coming through from the dressing rooms about Danny Badiris. He has concussion. There's no serious neck injury.
Thank God for that.
Apart from concussion, which can be serious itself, appears to be no serious injury, but that is a serious knock on.
Double knock on.
It will go against the West Tigers. Fought so hard to get back into this game, and then they come up with that. Just had a sneaky look. Inside the final 6 minutes of this game now, Andrew Johns. Big long ball from Matthew standing wide. McDougall gets involved.
Great tackle.
Sears won a good tackle. Well, did he come in contact with the ground? I thought he did. He got up and went again. Rudder, at the line he goes. Sean Rudd, oh, put him down softly. Parsons.
He knew he was in trouble, Scandalis, didn't he? He looked around at Bill Harrigan and said, well, OK, what do I do now?
Yeah, I want to drop him, but I won't.
Matthew Johns inside ball. Steve Simpson. Play Plays it back quickly. Peden. Billy Peden. The offload for Matthew Johns. Little kick. Joel Kane goes back. Joel Kane's got some pace. He can't get away from 3 of them. He can't get away from 4. He did, you know. He did, you know. In the end, the 5th bloke got it.
Yeah, big effort for no result here.
What are they doing? Short.
Got away from Greek.
There's been a turnover in back play. McGuinness goes into touch. Oh, knock on Hopper White.
The ball's gone forward anyway. And the pass back from McGuinness.
1-on-1. Tackles in, ball comes loose.
There were 4 separate incidents within 4 seconds.
Well, there was no messing around from Craig Field. He got the ball after Joel Kane was finally tackled, and he took the drop out straight away. Eventually, the West Tigers got it back. And he was off McGuinness down the sideline. But great work there from Gidley, rolling him into touch. And the pass back on the inside just went forward. Newcastle feed.
Michael Gillette back on the field. There's
Head
McGuinness ramping up.
John, head down.
The problem is it gives the ball back to the Newcastle Knights. That's a problem if you're a West Tigers supporter. If you're a Newcastle Knights supporter, it's no problem whatsoever. 5 tries apiece, 2-point ball game. Championship minutes are counting down. Inside the final 4 now. Glenn Grief. Fair to say, whoever scores next will win. Andrew Johns. Shields, the offlane for Gidley. Gidley tries to get on the outside. The flick ball for Tahu. They keep the ball alive well.
They don't believe in winding the game down, the Knights, do they?
They run you from one side to the other. Andrew Johns. Big long ball. This one for Rudder. He's got good hands. Mark Hughes kicks.
I don't know, you're better off to do that. Not a little bit kick happy today.
It's just a breakdown in communication. The kick wasn't good anyway, but as Hughes went to put it on the toe, Tahu had just decided to come back, or Beckett it was, had decided to come back on the inside, but it was too late. The ball was through there and he was no chance of getting it before the touchline.
Well, what it does is give the Tigers another chance.
Matthew Johns was up
offside, was it?
He was up very quickly. There's Crouch. Driven back. Driven back. Driven back again.
2.
Scandalis.
Always a tough run to make the next one after your teammate's been driven back.
Bilisanti.
Not many put their hand up for that one block.
You win a bit of respect if you do.
10 short of the halfway. Final tackle. What do? Do they drive it deep and hope, or do they do something fancy? Craig Field running. He needs some Tigers. He's not going to get the Tigers. This will backfire. This will backfire on the West Tigers. Beckett comes away. There's the ball game. The ball game goes to Beckett and the Newcastle Knights. They had to score, the West Tigers. They had to score. They tried something, it didn't work.
Well, Craig Field's going to be disappointed in himself here. The gap was there, he had to go for it. In the end, it falls for Lenny Beckett and he scores under the post, but the Tigers would not have been in this position if it wasn't for some of the things that Craig Field has done in the last half an hour. And with only 2 minutes left on the clock, they had to go for it. They may have got one more set of 6 after this one. If that ball goes to hand, maybe the Tigers can make something of it. It went to Beckett and there was nobody at home.
And you have to give a rap to the defence too. They came up and they played in the face of the Tigers there, knowing that Craig Field would probably kick. Get Sears on his inside. Really had to try and force the ball there.
Well, a double today. 12 for the year.
Well, the season might be ended, but I'll tell you what, the fans will come back and watch them play. Plenty of ticker.
Yeah, well, not over yet for the West Tigers, depending on other results that are happening as this game is taking place. Andrew Johns from the front, but they will do it extremely tough, depending on other results. 34-26.
Well, at 28-10, nobody really thought that the Tigers could get back into the game, but with only a couple of minutes left on the clock, they were trailing by 2 points. Fell down to Lenny Beckett, and he did the rest.
He was the last man out there, Lenny Beckett. There were 2 other Tigers on the outside of him. Short kick-off. It comes back, too big, out on the full. A penalty on the halfway line.
Shot.
won't have a shot at goal, do they?
They will. Well, they've got to try this.
It winds down the clock a bit, doesn't it?
Not going to have a shot at goal.
4 seconds to go. The Tigers realise it's their fate. He will have a shot. The decision was made before the clock counted down. Puts it bolt upright. So centre will drop back. He strikes it quickly. It's going to be way short. And Sears will have to take the tackle. Hughes can't get around Beckett. Matt Hughes. He got around there quickly. Well, Campbelltown hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the West Tigers. Butterfield, the veteran. Maybe they'll jump back into the top 4 now, the Newcastle Knights. 34-26. They scored the 6 tries to 5. Centre, as always, tried awfully hard. Beckett picked up a double. Mark Hughes, very solid in defence, and particularly in the opening 40 minutes. Andrews Johns setting up a big break.
Yeah, good game of football in the end, wasn't it? A great comeback from the Tigers in the second half. They started to get a little bit more football. The completion rate was good. The line break's a little bit of a problem there for both sides. The Knights with that second phase play, in the end, too strong, 34-26.
Errors creeping up there. Newcastle, who threw the ball around. Craig Field, don't blame him. That final option with just a minute left on the clock had to be taken. They needed a minor modern-day miracle. The West Tigers, the task was just a little bit beyond them. The final scoreline at